The Great Turtle Adventure. Once upon a time, in the vast, sparkling expanse of the ocean, there lived a wise old sea turtle named Tiberius. His shell, worn and weathered by the sands of time, bore the marks of a century spent navigating the ocean's currents. Tiberius had witnessed the splendor and the sorrow of the seas, and his eyes held the wisdom of 100 years of life beneath the waves. On a bright and sunny morning, with the sun casting its golden glow over the coral reef, Tiberius gathered all the young sea turtles of the reef for a grand storytelling session. The reef was bustling with life, a colorful tapestry of coral and fish, where the young turtles played and learned the ways of the ocean. "Gather round, little ones," Tiberius began, his deep voice resonating through the water. "Today, I shall tell you the tale of how our ancestors thrived in these very waters before the time of the great changes." The young turtles, with their shiny, unblemished shells and wide, curious eyes, swam closer. They settled around Tiberius, eager to hear the stories of the past. Tiberius's tales were legendary, filled with adventure, mystery, and wisdom. He began to paint a vivid picture of an ocean paradise, a time when sea turtles lived without fear and the ocean was a sanctuary of peace and abundance. "Long ago," Tiberius began, "the ocean was a place of wonder and beauty. Our ancestors nested on pristine beaches, where the sand was soft and white, and the moonlight danced on the waves. The waters were clear, teeming with vibrant marine life. We swam through coral gardens, feasted on jellyfish and seagrass, and basked in the warmth of the sun." The young turtles listened in awe, imagining the idyllic scenes that Tiberius described. He spoke of the gentle rhythm of the tides, the symphony of the waves, and the harmony of the marine creatures. It was a time when sea turtles flourished, their populations strong and their spirits free. But, Tiberius continued, his voice growing somber, everything changed when the humans began their relentless march across the land and sea. The young turtles looked at each other, confusion and concern flickering in their eyes. They had heard of humans, those mysterious beings who lived on land, but they knew little of their impact on the ocean. Tiberius sensed their unease and paused for a moment, letting the weight of his words sink in. "It began subtly at first," Tiberius explained. "Humans built their cities along the coasts, and their waste found its way into our waters. They harvested the ocean's bounty without thought for the future, and their machines roared across the seas, disrupting the delicate balance of our world." He recounted the early signs of change: the occasional piece of debris that drifted into the reef, the distant hum of boats, and the gradual decline of certain fish species. The changes were small at first, almost imperceptible, but they were the harbingers of a much greater upheaval. Tiberius's eyes grew sad as he spoke of the pivotal moment when the true extent of the human's impact became undeniable. "One fateful day," he said, "a strange new substance appeared in our waters. It was called plastic, and it began to multiply, covering the ocean in a deadly web." He described the horror of encountering the first plastic bag, floating eerily like a jellyfish, and the terror of getting entangled in plastic nets. The young turtles shivered as they imagined the choking, suffocating grip of these plastic invaders. Despite the challenges, Tiberius continued, "We tried to adapt. We learned to navigate the treacherous waters, avoiding the plastic traps and searching for clean, safe places to lay our eggs. But the humans' impact only grew, and our struggles became more desperate." As Tiberius's tale unfolded, the young turtles felt a mixture of fear and determination. They realized the gravity of their situation and the importance of understanding the past to protect their future. Tiberius's story was not just a history lesson, it was a call to action. "Remember, little ones," Tiberius said, his voice filled with resolve, "we are the guardians of the ocean. Our ancestors thrived because they lived in harmony with the sea. It is our duty to preserve that harmony and to fight for the survival of our species." With that, Tiberius concluded his story, leaving the young turtles with a sense of purpose. They swam away, inspired by the wisdom of their elder and determined to carry on the legacy of their ancestors. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, but with the knowledge and courage they had gained from Tiberius, they were ready to embark on their own great turtle adventure to save their species and the ocean they called home. The invasion of the plastic monsters. The days following Tiberius's tale were filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation among the young turtles. The once peaceful coral reef now seemed fraught with invisible dangers, as the reality of human impact loomed large in their minds. The young turtles couldn't stop thinking about the plastic monsters Tiberius had described. Determined to understand the threat better, a small group of adventurous young turtles, Luna, Finn, Coral, and Jet, decided to embark on a journey to witness the invasion of the plastic monsters firsthand. The journey began at dawn, the first light of the sun casting a golden hue over the reef. The young turtles swam out, leaving the safety of their home for the unknown expanse of the open ocean. The water was calm, and the beauty of the underwater world was mesmerizing, but their mission kept them focused. As they swam further from the reef, they began to notice the first signs of trouble. Small bits of plastic debris floated by, bottle caps, straws, and fragments of bags. At first, it seemed insignificant, but as they continued, the plastic became more prevalent. The young turtles exchanged worried glances, the magnitude of the problem becoming clearer with each stroke of their flippers. "I never imagined it would be this bad," Coral said, her voice tinged with sadness. "This is just the beginning," Jet replied. "We need to see more to truly understand." The journey took them to a place where the current carried the plastic in vast quantities. It was as if they had entered a different world. The surface of the water was covered in a thick layer of floating debris, creating a barrier between the ocean and the sky. The young turtles swam through this plastic soup, their hearts heavy with the enormity of the challenge they faced. Luna spotted a plastic bag drifting by, its transparent form eerily resembling a jellyfish. "Look," she said, "it's just like Tiberius described." Finn swam closer to inspect it. "No wonder so many turtles mistake it for food," he said. "It's so deceptive." As they swam deeper into the plastic zone, they encountered more hazards. Jet became entangled in a discarded fishing net, struggling to free himself as the others rushed to help. The net tightened around him, cutting into his shell and causing him to panic. "Hold still, Jet," Finn said urgently. "We'll get you out." With teamwork and determination, they managed to free Jet from the net's grasp. The experience left them shaken, a stark reminder of the dangers that lurked in these waters. "This is worse than I imagined," Jet said, his voice trembling. "If this continues, how will any of us survive?" The young turtles pressed on, determined to learn more. They encountered other marine creatures caught in the plastic menace, a dolphin with a plastic ring around its snout, a seabird struggling with a tangled fishing line, and a fish with its stomach bloated from ingesting plastic particles. The ocean was a battlefield, and the plastic monsters were winning. The journey took them to a floating island of trash, a massive accumulation of debris caught in the ocean's currents. It was a grotesque sight, a testament to human negligence. The island was a graveyard of plastic, with everything from bottles to toys to household items. It was a place where life struggled to survive amidst the waste. "This is what humans have done," Coral said, her voice filled with anger and sorrow. "They've turned our home into a dumping ground." Finn nodded. "But we can't just give up. We have to find a way to fight back." As they swam around the trash island, they noticed a group of humans in a boat. These humans were different from those Tiberius had described. They were not dumping waste, instead, they were collecting it. They worked tirelessly, hauling bags of trash onto their boat, sifting through the debris to remove the plastic from the water. "Look," Luna said, pointing with her flipper. "They're trying to help." The young turtles watched in awe and hope. Maybe, just maybe, not all humans were the enemy. Perhaps there were those who cared, who understood the importance of protecting the ocean and its inhabitants. "Let's get closer," Finn suggested. "Maybe we can learn from them." They cautiously approached the boat, careful not to get too close. The humans noticed the turtles and waved, their faces lighting up with smiles. One of the humans, a young woman with a kind expression, held up a sign with the words, "We are here to help," written on it. The young turtles felt a surge of hope. They realized that the fight against the plastic monsters was not one they had to face alone. There were allies among the humans, people who were committed to cleaning up the ocean and protecting its creatures. With newfound determination, the young turtles swam back to their reef, eager to share what they had learned. They told Tiberius and the others about their journey, the horrors they had witnessed, and the humans who were working to make a difference. Tiberius listened intently, his wise eyes reflecting both sorrow and hope. "You have seen the truth of our world," he said. "The plastic monsters are a grave threat, but we are not without allies. We must work together, turtles and humans, to turn the tide and save our ocean." The young turtles nodded, their hearts filled with a sense of purpose. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, but with the support of their human allies and the strength of their own community, they were ready to take on the plastic monsters and protect their home. The great turtle adventure had only just begun, and they were determined to see it through. The war on the beaches. The days following their return from the plastic-infested waters were filled with determination and planning. The young turtles, inspired by the humans who were working to clean up the ocean, decided it was time to take the fight to the land as well. They knew the beaches, the sacred nesting grounds of their ancestors, were under siege by human activity, and they were determined to see the damage for themselves and find a way to protect these vital areas. Luna, Finn, Coral, and Jet gathered at the edge of the reef, ready for the next journey. Tiberius, with his wise eyes and calm demeanor, gave them a reassuring nod. "Remember, little ones, the beaches are our lifeline. Protecting them is crucial for our survival. Stay strong and stay together." With Tiberius's words in their hearts, the young turtles set off toward the shore. The journey was long, but the anticipation of what lay ahead kept them moving. As they approached the coast, they could see the sandy beaches glistening in the sunlight, but the beauty was marred by the sight of human structures and activity. The first beach they reached was a popular tourist spot. Tall hotels and resorts lined the shore, their shadows stretching over the sand. Beach chairs, umbrellas, and human footprints cluttered the once pristine sands. The young turtles watched in dismay as people walked carelessly over areas where their ancestors had laid their eggs for generations. "This is terrible," Coral said, her voice filled with despair. "How can we possibly nest here with all this commotion?" Jet nodded. "We need to see if there are any safe spots left." They swam closer to the shore, cautious and observant. As they neared the beach, they noticed a group of baby turtles hatching from their nests. The tiny hatchlings, driven by instinct, scrambled toward the ocean, but their path was fraught with obstacles. Bright artificial lights from the hotels confused the hatchlings, leading them away from the sea and toward the dangerous roads. "We have to help them," Luna said urgently. "They don't know where to go." The young turtles sprang into action, guiding the hatchlings away from the lights and toward the safety of the water. It was a race against time as they dodged beach chairs, trash, and the feet of oblivious tourists. Some of the hatchlings made it to the water, but many were lost to predators, dehydration, or the relentless traffic on the nearby roads. Finn's heart sank as he watched a hatchling narrowly escape being crushed by a car. "This is a nightmare," he said, his voice filled with frustration. "We have to find a way to make the beaches safe again." As they continued their journey along the coast, they encountered more challenges. Humans had built seawalls and other structures that disrupted the natural flow of sand, causing erosion and reducing the available nesting areas. In some places, the beach had disappeared entirely, replaced by concrete and stone. "We need to find a place where humans haven't taken over," Jet said. "There has to be a safe spot somewhere." Their search led them to a more remote beach, one that was less frequented by tourists. Here, the sand was cleaner, and the natural beauty of the beach was more intact. However, even in this relatively untouched paradise, signs of human impact were present. Discarded trash littered the sand, and the remains of bonfires scarred the beach. Luna sighed. "Even here, humans have left their mark. But maybe this place can be saved." As they explored the beach, they came across a group of humans who were different from the tourists they had seen earlier. These humans were volunteers, working to clean up the beach and create safe nesting areas for the turtles. They carefully collected trash, removed debris, and marked off sections of the beach to protect the nests. "Look," Finn said, pointing to the volunteers. "These humans are trying to help." The young turtles watched as the volunteers worked tirelessly, their efforts making a noticeable difference. They saw one volunteer gently relocate a nest that was too close to the waterline, ensuring the eggs would not be washed away by the tide. "We should approach them," Coral suggested. "Maybe we can learn from them and find a way to protect our beaches." The young turtles swam closer, and the volunteers noticed them. One of the volunteers, a young man with a kind smile, crouched down and extended his hand toward the turtles. "Hello there," he said softly. "You're safe here." Luna felt a sense of trust and swam up to the volunteer. The man showed them the measures they were taking to protect the nests and explained how they were working to educate the local community about the importance of keeping the beaches clean and safe for wildlife. "We're not alone in this fight," Finn said, his voice filled with hope. "There are humans who care, who understand the importance of these beaches." The young turtles spent the next few days working alongside the volunteers, learning about beach conservation and helping to protect the nests. They realized that the war on the beaches was not one they had to fight alone. With the help of their human allies, they could make a difference. As they prepared to return to the reef, the young turtles felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had seen the damage caused by human activity, but they had also seen the potential for change. They knew that by working together, they could protect their nesting grounds and ensure a future for their species. Tiberius greeted them upon their return, his wise eyes reflecting pride and hope. "You have done well, little ones," he said. "The war on the beaches is far from over, but you have taken the first steps toward victory. Remember, the fight to protect our home is ongoing, but with determination and cooperation, we can prevail." The young turtles nodded, their hearts filled with resolve. They knew the journey ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it head-on. With their newfound knowledge and the support of their human allies, they were determined to protect their nesting grounds and ensure the survival of future generations. The war on the beaches had only just begun, and they were ready to fight for their home. The poisoned waters. The young turtles' hearts were heavy as they swam back to their reef, the memories of the damaged beaches etched deeply in their minds. They had seen firsthand the havoc human activity wreaked on their nesting grounds. Now, they were determined to confront another perilous issue: the poisoned waters caused by humans' insatiable appetite for oil and minerals. It wasn't long before they encountered the first signs of trouble. The once clear waters around their reef were tinged with an unnatural hue. The vibrant coral, once teeming with life, appeared dull and lifeless. Fish swam sluggishly, their movements hindered by the toxic elements polluting their home. "This is terrible," Finn said, his voice filled with anguish. "Our beautiful reef is dying. We need to find the source of this pollution," Jet declared. "If we can identify where it's coming from, maybe we can stop it." The journey took them farther from the reef, into waters where the effects of pollution were even more pronounced. The water became murkier, the smell of chemicals overpowering. The turtles encountered more and more marine creatures struggling to survive in the poisoned waters: crabs with deformed shells, fish with strange growths, and dolphins with burnt skin from the toxic sludge. As they swam deeper, they saw a massive oil rig looming on the horizon, its towering structure stark against the sky. The rig was a symbol of human greed and recklessness, extracting black gold from the ocean floor without regard for the damage it caused. "This is it," Coral said, her voice trembling with anger. "This is where the poison comes from." The turtles approached the oil rig cautiously, aware of the dangers it posed. They saw thick black oil seeping into the water, forming a slick that suffocated everything in its path. The once thriving ecosystem around the rig was now a wasteland of death and decay. "We have to stop this," Luna said, determination blazing in her eyes. "But how?" The young turtles swam closer to the rig, hoping to find a way to disrupt the flow of oil. As they circled the massive structure, they noticed a small group of humans in a boat, frantically working to contain the spill. Unlike the humans who had caused the damage, these individuals were trying to mitigate it. "Look," Jet said, pointing with his flipper. "They're trying to help." The humans were using booms and skimmers to contain the oil, working tirelessly to prevent it from spreading further. They wore expressions of determination and frustration, knowing the enormity of their task. The young turtles decided to approach the humans. They needed to understand more about the situation and see if there was any way they could help. As they neared the boat, one of the humans, a woman with a determined look in her eyes, noticed them. "Hey, look at this," she said to her colleagues. "These turtles must be from the nearby reef. They're probably suffering the most from this spill." The humans extended their hands toward the turtles, offering a sense of reassurance. Luna swam up to the woman, sensing her compassion and understanding. The woman explained how the oil rig had experienced a blowout, causing a massive spill that threatened the entire marine ecosystem. "We're doing everything we can to contain it," the woman said. "But it's a monumental task. We could use all the help we can get." The young turtles listened intently, understanding the gravity of the situation. They realized that while they couldn't directly stop the flow of oil, they could assist the humans in their efforts to contain and clean up the spill. "We can guide the fish and other creatures away from the worst areas," Finn suggested. "And we can help spot where the oil is spreading." The humans nodded, grateful for the turtles' willingness to help. Together, they worked tirelessly, the humans using their equipment to contain the spill while the turtles guided marine life to safer areas and monitored the spread of the oil. It was a daunting task, but their combined efforts began to make a difference. Over the following days, the young turtles witnessed the power of collaboration. The humans brought in more equipment and personnel, working around the clock to clean up the spill. The turtles continued to assist, their intimate knowledge of the waters proving invaluable. Slowly but surely, the water began to clear. The coral, though damaged, showed signs of recovery. Fish and other marine creatures returned to the area, finding refuge in the cleaner waters. The once poisoned expanse began to heal, a testament to the resilience of nature and the power of cooperation. As the cleanup efforts progressed, the young turtles felt a renewed sense of hope. They had seen the worst of human impact, but they had also seen the best of human compassion and determination. They knew the battle was far from over, but they had taken a crucial step toward restoring their home. Returning to the reef, the young turtles were greeted by Tiberius, his wise eyes reflecting pride and hope. "You have done well, little ones," he said. "The poisoned waters are a grave threat, but you have shown that through cooperation and determination, we can begin to heal our ocean." The young turtles nodded, their hearts filled with resolve. They knew the journey ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it head-on. With the support of their human allies and the strength of their own community, they were determined to protect their waters and ensure a future for their species. The battle against the poisoned waters had only just begun, and they were ready to fight for their home. The revival of the ocean. With the immediate crisis of the oil spill behind them, the young turtles knew their work was far from over. The poisoned waters and the plastic monsters were just the beginning. The ocean they loved faced countless threats, and it would take ongoing effort and vigilance to protect it. But they were no longer alone. They had found allies in both their fellow marine creatures and the humans who cared. Luna, Finn, Coral, and Jet gathered with Tiberius and the rest of their community at the reef, ready to discuss their next steps. The reef was still recovering, but there was a renewed sense of hope and determination among the turtles. "We've seen the damage that humans can cause," Finn began, his voice strong. "But we've also seen that there are humans who care deeply about our ocean. We need to build on that, to create a movement that brings more people to our side." Tiberius nodded. "Education and awareness are key. The more people understand the impact of their actions, the more likely they are to change their behavior. But we must also continue to take direct action to protect our home." The young turtles decided to embark on a new mission, to spread their message far and wide, to both marine creatures and humans, about the importance of protecting the ocean. They would share their stories, the horrors they had seen, and the hope they had found. The journey took them to various parts of the ocean, where they encountered different species and communities. They spoke to dolphins, whales, sharks, and fish, urging them to join the fight against pollution and habitat destruction. They found allies in unexpected places, from the deep-sea creatures who had seen their homes disrupted by mining operations to the coastal birds whose nesting grounds were threatened by rising sea levels. The turtles also worked closely with the humans who had helped them during the oil spill. These humans were part of various organizations dedicated to marine conservation, and they welcomed the turtles' involvement. Together, they organized beach cleanups, educational programs, and campaigns to reduce plastic use and protect marine habitats. One of their most significant initiatives was a large-scale awareness campaign aimed at coastal communities. The turtles, along with their human allies, traveled from beach to beach, sharing their stories and educating people about the impact of their actions on the ocean. They held workshops, gave talks, and even participated in community events to spread their message. The response was overwhelmingly positive. People were moved by the turtles' stories and inspired to take action. Beach cleanups became more frequent, local businesses started reducing their plastic usage, and more volunteers joined the conservation efforts. The movement grew, fueled by a collective desire to protect the ocean for future generations. The young turtles also played a crucial role in scientific research. They worked with marine biologists to monitor the health of coral reefs, track the movement of plastic debris, and study the effects of pollution on marine life. Their first-hand knowledge and observations were invaluable in guiding conservation strategies. As the years passed, the ocean began to show signs of recovery. The coral reefs, once bleached and lifeless, started to regain their vibrant colors. Fish populations rebounded, and marine ecosystems began to thrive once more. The young turtles watched with pride as their efforts, combined with those of their human allies, made a tangible difference. One day, as they swam through a revitalized reef, Luna looked around at the thriving marine life and felt a sense of fulfillment. "We've come a long way," she said, her voice filled with gratitude. "But our work isn't done. We must remain vigilant and continue to protect our home." Finn nodded. "We've shown that change is possible. Now we must ensure that it lasts." Tiberius, now even older and wiser, gathered the turtles and their allies for a final message. The ocean is resilient, but it needs our help to heal and thrive. Remember, every action counts, and together, we can make a difference. Let our story be a reminder of the power of unity and the importance of protecting our beautiful blue home. The young turtles, now seasoned protectors of the ocean, vowed to continue their mission. They knew that the revival of the ocean was an ongoing journey, one that required constant effort and dedication. But they were ready for the challenge, inspired by the progress they had seen and the hope they had ignited in others. As they swam through the clear, sparkling waters of the beloved reef, the young turtles felt a deep sense of purpose. They were guardians of the ocean, and they would continue to fight for its future, ensuring that it remained a place of beauty and wonder for generations to come. The Great Turtle Adventure had evolved into a lifelong commitment to the ocean's revival. With their hearts full of hope and determination, they swam forward, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, united in their love for the ocean and their unwavering belief in the power of collective action.